Welcome to the Everything Podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to recap The Goes Wrong Show Season 1, Episode 2, titled The Pilot, Not the Pilot, which was originally released on the 3rd of January 2020. And I'm recording this episode nearly 6 years later on the 25th of August 2025. But before I get on with my recap, here is the trailer for The Goes Wrong Show Season 1.
Merry Christmas and welcome to Play of the Week.
A brand new series of The Goes Wrong Show starts with a Christmas special on BBC One and iPlayer.
That was the trailer for The Goes Wrong Show Season 1. So without further ado, here's my recap of The Goes Wrong Show Season 1, Episode 2, titled The Pilot, Not the Pilot. We start off with The Goes Wrong Show title sequence. Chris introduces Play of the Week and himself, as well as this episode. Chris mentions his dad. Chris corrects confusion over this episode's title. A typewriter breaks. This story is set in February 1961. Valerie and the lieutenant communicate. Rufus mentions losing one of his legs. Chris hides Trevor. Chris stops one of his legs from showing. Dennis does some sound effects. A woman says some French words. Rufus accidentally injures Valerie. Chris bangs his head on a set. The woman compliments Rufus. Valerie's pointing doesn't match her dialogue. Robert is spotted speaking to someone. Commander Wickham communicates with Valerie. Valerie pushes her glass too far. Commander Wickham gives Valerie a pen and her glass back. The divider between Commander Wickham and Valerie breaks. Commander Wickham returns to their usual place. Chris has sorted out a solution to his leg situation. Dennis makes another sound effect. A chalkboard stops moving. The other side of the chalkboard shows that a crisis meeting for Play of the Week took place. Chris accidentally hits the woman with the chalkboard. Valerie mentions Hitler. The woman compliments Rufus. A set change occurs, but the lighting returns prematurely. Rupert attempts to hide himself. The woman reads out multiple incorrect messages. Rufus and Valerie mention time. Robert finds somewhere else to hide. Valerie, Rufus and the woman salute Commander Wickham. The woman updates Commander Wickham. Commander Wickham is reunited with their bag and gives the bag to the woman. The cupboard Robert is currently in moves. Robert mentions being okay. Commander Wickham mentions King Henry VIII. Trevor is revealed accidentally. Valerie receives a message. Camille attempts to read out this message. Commander Wickham mentions HQ. Rufus's tie gets stuck, which Valerie helps set him free from. Commander Wickham mentions Germany and England. Valerie mentions Churchill. Commander Wickham is repeatedly unable to say a specific time. Commander Wickham compliments Rufus. Camille names the wrong war. Rufus compliments Camille and Valerie. Rufus and Camille kiss. Camille mentions Valerie. Camille attempts to say some French. Rufus uses a hat or coat stand as his crutch after his crutch gets tangled with it. Rufus and Camille get stuck. Commander Wickham asks Valerie to give him a towel. Commander Wickham mentions passion. Commander Wickham sprays something. The real face of Commander Wickham is repeatedly hidden from Valerie and the audience. Commander Wickham's true face is revealed. Valerie joins Rufus and Camille. Dennis makes some more sound effects. Dennis runs out of paper and ink. Dennis mentions Plymouth. Camille and Valerie read out a message. A microphone can be seen. Rufus asks everyone to stay in the room until the spy hunter arrives. Robert says some stage directions. Rufus mentions Churchill. Churchill and Trevor argue. Chris yells at Robert and Trevor. Robert and Trevor are spotted again. Valerie mentions Rufus. The spy catcher arrives. The spy catcher corrects Commander Wickham. The spy catcher questions Rufus. The spy catcher accidentally attaches himself to a lie detector machine. Multiple devices work wrong. Rufus admits to his mum being German. The spy catcher admits to not trusting Rufus. The spy catcher accidentally attaches handcuffs to himself. Camille reads another message. Chris corrects Dennis repeatedly. Chris raises his voice at Dennis. Chris's dad arrives. Chris raises his voice at his dad. Trevor accidentally hits Camille with the door. Rufus and Valerie discuss Dorothy. Valerie wishes Rufus good luck. Hitler speaks to Commander Wickham. Hitler mentions Berlin. Chris screams. Valerie and Camille are now clouds. Chris is now upside down. Chris believes he is going to be sick. A plane explodes in black and white. Valerie mentions the war being over. Camille makes up some Spanish. Valerie and Camille discuss Rufus. Rufus introduces Valerie and Camille to Churchill. Valerie accidentally attacks Camille while saluting Churchill. Churchill gives Rufus a medal whilst mentioning Hitler in 1961. Some reminders about this episode not being the first episode are shown. Rufus is now the king. Valerie thanks Churchill. Dennis leaves. Churchill believes he isn't the real Winston Churchill, and Churchill is corrected. That is my recap of The Goes Wrong Show, Season 1, Episode 2, titled The Pilot, Not the Pilot. And that is it. So let me know what you thought of The Goes Wrong Show, Season 1, Episode 2, titled The Pilot, Not the Pilot. If you watched it, my recap. If you didn't, you can put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well as anything else we're going to cover on the channel, such as any previews or recaps. Put those in the comments below as well. Remember, also like, comment, and subscribe. And just a couple of things before I end this episode, and that is a reminder now, 2 episodes of the podcast released every single day, with the first episode released at 11 AM GMT, and the second episode released at 3 PM GMT. And just a reminder now, multiple formats that the podcast can be enjoyed in. That obviously the video version available on YouTube will still remain, but there is now an audio-only version. So if you prefer not to see the video, that's up to you. But I suggest that you do still watch the YouTube version, as Matt spends a lot of time and effort and adds loads of loads of little quirks that you won't get in the audio version. But if you just want the audio version, then if you go to the podcast X page, which is Xing with the Everything Podcast, click on post, find one that mentions Spreaker, click on the link and you should be able to find it there. And without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.